Saint Augustine, The Harmony of the Gospels, Book 1, Chapter 31, following. He bears our infirmities and is in sorrows for us. And we did esteem him to be in sorrows and to be stricken and in punishment. But he was wounded for our transgressions, and he was enfeebled for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we, like sheep, have gone astray, and the Lord has given him up for our sins. And whereas he was evil entreated, he opened not his mouth. He was brought as a sheep to the slaughter, and as a lamb before him who shears it is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. In humility was his judgment taken. Who shall declare his generation? For his life shall be cut off out of the land. By the iniquities of my people is he led to death. Therefore shall I give the wicked for his sepulchre, and the rich on account of his death. Because he did no iniquity, neither was any deceit in his mouth. The Lord is pleased to clear him in regard to his stroke. If you shall give your soul for your offences, you shall see the seed of the longest life. And the Lord is pleased to take away his soul from sorrows, to show him the light, and to set him forth in sight, and to justify the righteous one who serves many well, and he shall bear their sins. Therefore shall he have many of his inheritance, and shall divide the spoils of the strong. For which reason his soul was delivered over to death, and he was numbered with the transgressors. And he bare the sins of many, and was delivered for their iniquities. Rejoice, O barren, you that dost not bear. Exult and cry aloud, you that dost not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than those of her who has a husband. For the Lord has said, enlarge the place of your tent, and fix your courts. There is no reason why you should spare, lengthen your cords, and strengthen your stakes firmly. Ye again and again break thou forth on the right hand and on the left. For your seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and you shall inhabit the cities which were desolate. There is nothing for you to fear, for you shall prevail and be not confounded, as if you shall be put to shame. For you shall forget your confusion forever. You shall not remember the shame of your widowhood, since I, who made you, am the Lord is his name. And he who brought you out, the very God of Israel, shall be called God of the whole earth. Chapter 32. A statement in vindication of the doctrine of the apostles, as opposed to idolatry, in the words of the prophecies. What then do these men, who are at once the perverse applauders of Christ and the slanderers of Christians, say to these facts? Can it be that Christ, by the use of magical arts, caused those predictions to be uttered so long ago by the prophets? Or have his disciples invented them? Is it thus that the Church, in her extension among the Gentile nations, though once barren, has been made to rejoice now in the possession of more children than that synagogue had, which, in its law or its king, had received as it were a husband? Or is it thus that this church has been led to enlarge the place of her tent, and to occupy all nations and tongues, so that now she lengthens her cords beyond the limits to which the rights of the empire of Rome extend, ye, even unto the territories of the Persians and the Indians and other barbarous nations? or that on the right hand by means of true Christians, and on the left by means of pretended Christians, his name is being made known among such a multitude of peoples, or that his seed is made to inherit the Gentiles, so as now to inhabit cities which had been left desolate of the true worship of God and the true religion, or that his church has been so little daunted by the threats and furies of men, even at times when she has been covered with the blood of martyrs, like one clad in purple array, that she has prevailed over persecutors at once, so numerous, so violent, and so powerful, or that she has not been confounded, like one put to shame when it was a great crime to be or to become a Christian, or that she is made to forget her confusion forever, because where sin had abounded, grace did much more abound, or that she is taught not to remember the shame of her widowhood, because only for a little was she forsaken and subjected to opprobrium, while now she shines forth once more with such eminent glory? Or, in fine, is it only a fiction concocted by Christ's disciples that the Lord who made her and brought her forth from the denominations of the devil and the demons, the very God of Israel, is now called the God of the whole earth, all which, nevertheless, the prophets, whose books are now in the hands of the enemies of Christ, foretold so long before Christ became the Son of Man? Chapter 33, a statement in opposition to those who make the complaint that the bliss of human life has been impaired by the entrance of Christian times. Finally, as to the complaint which they make with respect to the impairing of the bliss of human life by the entrance of Christian times, if they only peruse the books of their own philosophers, who reprehend those very things which are now being taken out of their way in spite of all their unwillingness and murmuring, they will indeed find that great praise is due to the times of Christ. For what diminution is made in their happiness, unless it be in what they most basely and luxuriously abused, to the great injury of their Creator? Or, unless perchance it is by the case that evil times originate in such circumstances as these, in which throughout almost all states the theatres are failing, and with them too the dens of vice and the public profession of iniquity, yea, altogether the forums and cities in which the demons used to be worshipped are falling. How comes it, then, that they are falling unless it be in consequence of the failure of those very things in the lustful and sacrilegious use of which they were constructed? Did not their own Cicero, when commending a certain actor of the name of Rocius, call him a man so clever as to be the only one worthy enough to make it due for him to come upon the stage, and yet again so good a man as to be the only one so worthy as to make it due for him not to approach it? What else did he disclose with such remarkable clearness by this saying, but the fact that the stage was so base there that a person was under the greater obligation not to connect himself with it, in proportion as he was a better man than most? And yet their gods were pleased with such things of shame as he deemed fit only to be removed to a distance from good men. But we have also an open confession of the same Cicero, where he says that he had to appease Flora, the mother of sports, by frequent celebration, in which sports such an excess of vice is wont to be exhibited, that in comparison with them others are respectable, from engaging in which nevertheless good men are prohibited. Who is this Mother Flora, and what manner of goddess is she, who is thus conciliated and propitiated by a practice of vice indulged in with more than usual frequency and with looser reins? How much more honorable now was it for a righteous to step upon the stage than for a Cicero to worship a goddess of this kind? If the gods of the Gentile nations are offended because the supplies are lessened which are instituted for the purpose of such celebrations, it is apparent of what character those must be who are delighted with such things. But if, on the other hand, the gods themselves in their wrath diminish their supplies, their anger yields us better services than their placability. Wherefore, let these men either confute their own philosophers, who have reprehended the same practices on the side of wanton men, or else let them break in pieces those gods of theirs who have made such demands upon their worshippers. If indeed they still find any such deities, either to break in pieces or to conceal. But let them cease from their blasphemous habit of charging Christian times with the failure of their true prosperity, a prosperity indeed so used by them that they were sinking into all that is base and hurtful, lest thereby they be only putting us all the more emphatically in mind of reasons for the ample praise of the power of Christ.